free agency starts coming around. But word on the street, the Falcon fans are still crying about them not getting Bill Belichick. Because why, Dad?
Because they suck.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to suck. But so we got a couple interesting topics to go over. But let's start with ESPN. They listed the Saints as the best fit for edge rusher Jadarius Smith. He's currently on the Cleveland Browns. How would you, if the Saints get to their cap space to get Smith, would you like to see Jadarius Smith back in gold next season?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but you got to watch what you read sometimes because ESPN they like going downhill with their coverage and people that don't know what they're talking about, and so we'll see. But yeah, I guess I would like that addition.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not in his. I don't know if he ever had like a prime, but he had a couple good years in Green Bay, and he had a good year in Minnesota. I don't think he's that anymore, but alongside Cam and could give Granderson some more pointers, and maybe can help develop Hayden Turner. Maybe I would like him to see him, but I like to see him in the black and gold. But now I'm gonna read some quotes that Matt Bowen said, and he's the ESPN person. So he states on Zadarius Smith, given the Saints' cap issues, this would probably be a one-year deal for Smith to play in Dennis Allen's multiple defense. I like the fit there, though. Given Smith's pass rush versatility, Allen could deploy him off the edge or inside as a stand-up defensive tackle slash nose. He's a power rusher who has 60 sacks in his career with the Browns in 2023. And New Orleans finished tied for 28th in sacks last season with 34. So we kind of know a little bit about Smith. Yeah, last year our sack numbers were dead. I think Smith can definitely help with that. I don't think he can get like 10 sacks a season. Don't get me wrong. But with this team, maybe he could help us. Like Zadarius Smith ain't gonna win you a game by himself, but I think he could help along the way. I don't think he'll be like even if the Saints do get him, I don't think he's gonna be like a key part of the team. But maybe we'll see. But in 2023, Zadarius Smith played in 16 games, and in the game he missed, he got benched because they already made the playoffs. So he had 27 tackles, 8 TFLs, 6 sacks, 15 QB hits, 61 pressures. So hey, good evening, Jerry.
What's
Is
up, Jerry?
that those numbers I just read are those numbers that you would pay like a 1 year, maybe 5, maybe $10 million contract to?
Absolutely. We need some pass rushes, buddy. We need to get after the passer this year.
Yep. Fun fact is that Darius Smith was on this team last year. He already led the team in sacks,
Hmm.
and that's I think I don't know how much credit you have, but now. So you already gave me your answer if you was Sean Smith, but now let's look at the Saints defensive line depth chart. The starting defensive end is Cameron Jordan. The backup is I know all right.
Uh-oh, Mikey, don't start.
Okay, we're back.
We're
Uh,
back.
so defensive tackles, the starters Colin Saunders with the backup being Brian Brees, even though I think Brees will be the starter come next season. And then the third string D tackle is Nathan Shepard and then you got Malcolm Roach and then PJ Mustipher. And then defensive ends, you also got Carl Granderson, Payne Turner, and Carl Phillips. But yeah, so notable suggestions in the article for the NFC South, and obviously, and there's a Ram on here as well. But they had the Falcons signing Kirk Cousins, the Panthers re-signing Brian Burns, the Rams signing Danielle Hunter, the Buccaneers re-signing Antoine Winfield, the Panthers signing Mike Evans, the Buccaneers re-signing Baker Mayfield, the Panthers signing Trent Brown, the Falcons signing Devin White and Josh Uche, and then the Buccaneers re-signed Lavonte David. I mean, the notable one there, in my opinion, is Mike Evans staying within this division. But that's gonna be good for Lattimore if Lattimore stays, because like it's the same matchup, it's on a different team, so he gets to own Mike Evans still. But I don't think he's going to Carolina. Let's be honest, he's not going to Carolina. He's either staying in Tampa or going to Baltimore, Kansas City. It's one or the other at this point. But we're LSU fans, right? Bama is burning. Let's rejoice for a second. Alabama, how the mighty have fallen. Bama, the best college football team on the face of the earth. Not looking too hot. Yeah, coach left. You had a recruit who already recruited your team. He decommitted. The defensive coordinator that you picked up, like 1 week later, he was in talk of leaving. Bama's burning, Dad. How do you feel about Bama's burning? Look, I don't even care if LSU loses every single game next year, which they won't. I would just see more joy watching Bama lose, because nobody thinks LSU's going to win it every year. People think Bama's going to win every year. So how do you feel about Bama burning finally?
Well, they're definitely going to take a step back. Now, how far back they go next year was something to be seen. But I don't think that they're burning quite yet. I mean, I'm sure they got a roster full of talented kids. We just got to wait and see how it shakes out.
Yeah, but I just wanted to get that in for a second. But now let's get back to the NFL. You know, it's not really stat, but do you know what I saw? Taysom Hill is the third highest paid tight end in the NFL. And he's not even a tight end, he's everything. Ain't that some? A player of Taysom Hill's caliber is, I think he's getting paid more than Travis Kelce. I'm not sure though.
Well, they paid him like in between a tight end and a quarterback because they didn't know what was going on. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, we pay him a tight end. Let's not, because he's gonna get pissed off and he's gonna want to leave. So let's raise the salary a little bit closer to like a backup quarterback salary. And yes, that's like way more than the normal tight ends get.
Yeah.
So that's why he's in that situation.
Taysom right now is getting paid $15 million. So
woo, that's a good chunk of change, Mikey. That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah. But also, do you know who Daniel Jeremiah is?
Yes, he from NFL Network, right?
Yeah. So he releases 2.0 mock draft for 2024. He has the Saints selecting J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama. He was a junior tackle. He has us going with him at number 14. And he states, unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for the Saints with 2022 first-round pick and Trevor Penning. I flipped it to the wrong side. Yeah, with first-round pick Trevor Penning from 2022 so far. New Orleans needs to address the tackle position. The run on Alabama players continues because he had a bunch of Bama players going in a row, and this was one of them. So, J.C. Latham, I haven't done, my film study yet, which I will be planning on, when it comes to, the combine and stuff, but I like it. I like J.C. Latham. I think he's a talented kid, and I think he has more upside. But to be fair, we thought Trevor Penning was the best tackle in the draft when he came out, so we can't be too sure.
I love it. I don't just like it. I love it. The Trevor Penning thing. Look, I told you this before, and I'm gonna tell you this moving forward. Don't give me no first round tackle or defensive guy from these small schools. I'm not interested. I want some dudes from Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU. I want where they played football at. I don't want, where they, push, fall down, and go boom. No, I don't want none of that.
Yeah.
So yes, Latham. I think that's the way you pronounce his name. But yes, I see that being a great pick if we pick him. If he lasts to the 14th pick.
I mean, some people had him going in the second round, early, late first. So hey, 14th pick, will it be a steal or a reach? We'll have to see. But here's an interesting topic. This probably won't happen, but if the chance is there, if you're the Saints from an offense, would you hire Drew Brees to be like an offensive coach?
Nope. 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 I mean,
Okay.
maybe like a quarterback coach, but that's it. I mean, I'm not hiring him to be no offensive coordinator or anything like that.
I mean, we know he's not going to be the offensive coordinator because that's Kubiak's job.
Yeah, right. And so are you asking me, can he be a quarterback coach?
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
saying. I'm not
he's
saying
one
be
of
the
the
head coach of a football team.
he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the position. But the, the great players don't always make the great coaches. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, hey, just look at Deion Sanders.
yeah, I mean, because they've been great all their life. They haven't really worked hard. They just God blessed them with some great talent. That's how they were successful on the field. That's why they're in the Hall of Fame. They're not really great teachers.
Yeah, I would hire Drew Brees to be like a quarterback's coach for that offense because look, people forget to realize Drew Brees has experience at coaching because he coached Purdue. They got blown out, but he coached Purdue,
Mikey, they
and
got the
all
doors blown. They got the doors
yeah,
blown off of them in that Peach Bowl
but
or whatever it
also
was. I don't
but
know.
also what you gotta realize when he was with the Saints, he called most of the plays in the huddle, so like he has experience calling plays as well. Like he called, and those plays sometimes work. So I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I would understand. Like I think Drew's already happy with his life right now, so I doubt he accepts the position. But if he does, I'll be optimistic, I guess. Now let's start talking about somebody who got drafted last year. Is Brian Brees a bust in your opinion?
No, he's not a bust. He did some good things last year. I think with some more experience, some good coaching, I think he could be a decent rotational player. Can he be a great player? I don't know. I think he's a little too slow for that. I don't know. Maybe not strong enough, but we'll see. I mean, get him some
Yeah,
experience and see how he develops. Let's see what year
yeah. I mean,
two looks like.
yeah. I mean, his run, what he needs to work on is stopping the run. Like there were so many plays last year where he kept getting gassed on run plays, and then we end up losing games because of that, basically. Because you have to run the ball to win games. Like if you have the ball up by 5 or 3 or whatever, but like 2 minutes left, you got to run the ball to run the clock out. And Brian Brees, his grade was low. I forgot what it was. I think it was like 45.4 or something. So I'm not saying he's a bust because he was like the 29th pick. 29th pick is basically a second round pick at this point. But like I mean, he's not a bust, but in my opinion, I feel like we could have got him in the second round. That's just my opinion. But I mean, I'm not gonna call him a boss. Like he did some good things, but he also does some bad things. We'll just have to see how that. We'll just have to see how his career goes from here on out. But I want to talk about some happy times. So Super Bowl 44, Saints have a 10-point comeback against Colts. I know we talked about that Super Bowl a couple weeks ago, but I just want to talk about it again because I loved it. So I'm gonna ask you this question again because last time we couldn't really hear you because of audio connections. So how were you feeling in that moment during the Super Bowl? Super Bowl. I know you already answered it, but I didn't hear it. So how are you feeling in the Super Bowl?
I was feeling a little nervous when it started. Well, going into the game, I thought that maybe this wasn't gonna be our day. I'm just happy to be there, kind of thing. For 2 weeks we've just been talking about Saints in the Super Bowl, Saints in the Super Bowl, and I'm like, yeah, there's some cool stuff. But then before the game, they show the players getting off the bus. And I see Peyton Manning there with that mean game face on, like this. And I was like, oh snap. Well, he's about to whoop our butts, boy. But no, then the game started. I'm feeling good. It's a competitive game. Then Tracy Porter takes that pick back for a touchdown. I put my head back on that wall. I think a little tear came out my eye. I was like, man, we're gonna win this thing. We are winning this game. It's over.
How are you feeling? The Saints were down 10-0 though. That's what I want to know. How are you feeling when they were down 10-0?
Probably the same. Like, oh well. I'm just glad to be in it. It's the it's the Super Bowl, and Sean Payton and Drew Brees just got here, so we'll be back. You know, we
Well, we
we good,
weren't.
but we didn't get back. But that was my take on it. Just glad
How
to
are
be
you
there.
feeling when we took the onside kick to start the second half? Before, did you even know that we were going to attempt the onside kick?
No, it was a surprise to everybody. I mean, you know, second half start, whoopie doo, and all of a sudden there's a big scrum on the field. Like, what just happened? What just happened? And then I forgot your boy's name, but he came up with the ball, and everybody was in shock. I mean, I couldn't even celebrate. I was like, so what this means? I mean, is this good? But
Yeah.
yeah, it was something. It was cool.
I know my mother hates Tracy Porter after that pick six.
Why?
She lost money because you know how they be betting when like the score or something, like the
But
last point of like the
yeah,
digits.
she had a
So
football
my
pool
mom
probably.
had like the score like 4-7, and it was
Yeah,
24-17. And then she got upset because Tracy Porter, instead of going down, he took it to the house. So then she lost the money.
I've done football pools before, and that's why I never did it on a Saints game because I'm not rooting for the numbers. I'm rooting for the Saints.
Yeah, I think I did it like once. I think we were playing Arizona. I don't think. I think I bet like a quarter, but yeah. So I think we did it also for that Super Bowl between Chiefs and Buccaneers, but I don't think anything. I think maybe one of them hit. Yeah, best moment ever, Jerry. Yeah, I still watch that replay. Sure, I just watched that replay like a couple days ago. Man, I'm telling you, bruh, every single Sunday, this past season, every single Sunday, man, I needed something to fill me with joy. So I just watched some Super Bowls. Because now, if you would tell me, if you are from the future and you somehow tell me the Saints would win the Super Bowl next year, I would probably send you to a mental hospital at this point. Because how this team's run, oh boy, bro.
Let me tell
Look,
you
I'm not.
something. You're gonna have this feeling one time in your life. So be lucky that you're young right now because I started watching football when I was 10 years old, just like you. And we didn't win the Super Bowl until I was like 28, 29. So that was like, 18 years of not winning nothing. So
Yeah.
it's going to
I mean, I
happen
started
one
watching
day.
football when I was 8.
Maybe I'll
So,
still be around. Maybe not. But we'll
but
see.
yeah, I remember I started watching. You know, the first game I ever watched, or at least sat down and watched, was actually the Minneapolis Miracle. Did you know that?
No. That was a sad game to start watching football.
Honestly, if Drew Brees was our quarterback, Because honestly, at that time, I didn't even know what a touchdown was. I thought that if you intercepted the ball, I thought you were supposed to give the ball back to them. that's what I was thinking because I was young and dumb. But yeah. So now let's get on to some serious topics, I guess. Are the Saints gonna trade Taysom Hill this offseason, in your opinion?
I hope not, but if they do, I hope they get a lot for him because he does a lot for us. So I don't know. You can give me a second round and a fourth round pick. I might let you have him. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Saints will trade him. Like, I know we've been talking about it for like a couple years now, but Taysom, like, people don't know this. That man is about to be 34 years old. If you would have showed me a picture of Taysom, I would have guessed he's probably like 26 or 27 or 28, like in his late 20s. That man is about to be, bro. That man's about to be 40 in a few years, bro. So yeah. So the Saints, they need cap space and draft capital because I believe we don't have many. Let's see. I didn't talk to nobody after the. Yeah, honestly, I didn't have an immediate reaction because I did not know what happened because I was young and dumb. But yeah. Years later, I probably if I knew what happened in that situation, I probably would have not talked to anybody either. Honestly, I thought scoring with no time left was illegal. I thought there was about to be a penalty if I even knew what a penalty was. So yeah, because I saw a basketball highlight and you obviously if you shoot the ball before the buzzer it counts, but if you after it doesn't, so I thought it was the same thing that felt. So, but yeah, and also Taysom signed a 4-year, $40 million contract extension in 2021 under Sean Payton. You probably know where I'm going with this. He turns 34 in August. One of the best all-around football players in the NFL. And do you want to keep Taysom Hill in New Orleans? Like, if you're Mickey Loomis, do you want Taysom in New Orleans?
I think so. I think Clinton Kubiak wants Taysom Hill in New Orleans. I think he wants to do something with him.
Yeah, I think he does too. But we'll have to see. Let's go over his last 4 years that we've been doing with every single player that we've talked about during this show. So the last 4 years, in 2020, he played 16 games. He had 457 rushing yards, 98 receiving yards, 928 passing yards, and 16 total touchdowns. 2021, played in 12 games. Had 314 rushing yards. Yeah, I would too, Jerry. 314 rushing yards, 52 receiving yards, 978 passing yards, and 9 total touchdowns. And if you remember, that was the year that he got that concussion. All right, let me get to this paper. I forgot to write on the backside. All right, so in 2022, he played in 12 games again, had 575 rushing yards, 77 receiving yards, 240 passing yards, and 11 total touchdowns. In 2023, this past season, played 16 games, 401 rushing yards, 291 receiving yards, and 83 passing yards for 7 total touchdowns. So he is one of a kind. Like, let's be honest. He's like the first player, I believe, in the Super Bowl era to have like 10 receiving touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and passing touchdowns in one career. So he's one of a kind. So, I think Taysom. Do you think Taysom Hill is special?
Absolutely. I'm with Jerry. Keep Hill in New Orleans.
Yeah, I think Taysom's special for what he does. Obviously, nobody thinks he's a top 10 um, position because we don't even know what he plays anymore. Dude, I'll be surprised if the Saints play him at kicker next year from how Blake Gruby's been playing. Should I rather see Taysom kick a couple field goals? Man, we should have had that last season. But yeah. Let's look at Taysom Hill's contract details. So, pre-June 1st trade. If we trade him before June 1st of this year. His 2024 base salary will be $10 million. 2024 cap hit will be $15.7 million. 2024 dead cap will be $16.9 million. And then his 2024 cap savings will be negative $1.1 million. Now, if we look at a post June 1st trade, if we trade him after the date of June 1st, his 2024 cap hit, get back on the screen. 2024 cap hit will be $15.7 million. 2024 dead cap will be $5.7 million. His 2025 dead cap, his dead cap for next year, would be $11.1 million. And then his 2024 cap savings would be $10 million. But yeah. But however, if we extend Taysom, we save $7.3 million, I believe. So, and if restructured, we save $6.59 million. And if cut / traded post June 1st, we save $10 million and $5.78 million in dead money. So those numbers, they're not really scary, as Saints fans, because we've seen some worse contracts. So yeah, I think the Saints probably will keep him, but I won't be surprised if he gets traded. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think we're probably gonna let him go. I won't be surprised if we cut him. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll have to see. But I want to talk about this team in particular. Do you think he goes to the Denver Broncos if he goes anywhere?
If he goes anywhere, you can bank on it. He'll be in Denver.
Yeah. He was Sean Payton's golden child. Like, if you touch Taysom, he was about to fight you at that point. Man, you could not touch Taysom. I don't know why. I don't know what his obsession was with Taysom. Like, Taysom's good, don't get me wrong, but that man acted like he was the next Tom Brady and Alvin Kamara, bro. Boy. But now let's look at some coaches and players that left the Saints to go to Broncos. Offensive, and when I say this does not mean like current Broncos or not current Broncos. It does mean players who were Saints coaches or players that went to Denver eventually, like the last couple years when Sean Payton took over. So Nola, the Denver Broncos, you got offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi, outside linebacker coach Michael Wilhole, tight ends coach DeClane Doyle, assistant head coach Mike Westhoff, senior assistant Pete Carmichael, senior assistant Joe Vitt, pass game John Morton, and assistant as special teams coordinator Chris Banjo. And then you got strength and con. I don't know what that means, but Dan Durham.
Strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, that. So now let's look at some players who left the Saints to go to Denver. Running back Tony Jones Jr., running back Dwayne Washington, wide receiver Marquez Callaway, wide receiver Lil Jordan Humphrey, I still miss him, tight end Adam Troutman, don't miss him, tight end Chris Manhertz, kicker Will Lutz, and kicker Brett Maher. Yeah. So that was
the Denver
that
Saints.
was
That's
yeah.
That's who that is. The Denver
those
Saints.
are the players. So yeah. But I have a question. Now let's get back to college for a second. Do you think Jaden Daniels is the best college or the best quarterback prospect coming out of the draft this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. People say Caleb Williams, but
I don't like Caleb Williams. I mean, I don't think he's got bust written all over him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think Caleb Williams really focused. I don't think he's focused on football. Because, I don't know if you realize, but Caleb put out like a list of teams that he wants to go to, don't want to go to. He put out saying that he wants part ownership. Like, those type of quarterbacks, Like those don't really succeed. Like, look, he could prove us wrong. He could be good, but Caleb, I think he can be good, but he's like 50-50. He's not Jamarcus Russell. Like some people thought he was gonna be good, but then there was a couple folks who was like, I mean, he's not really focused on football. Yeah, those players don't really last too long. But
See,
yeah, James, like you got Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix. I don't really like Bo Nix either. So yeah, you got those type of guys. Um, so yeah, I think Jay Daniels is the clear front. You know, he was the Heisman for a reason. And one thing I like about Jaden is that he is not a one-dimensional quarterback. Like if you take away his legs, he's gonna throw you a deep bomb. If you take away his arm, he's gonna run for the first down. Like there is no stopping Jaden Daniels. Like there is no stopping Jaden Daniels. And even if you take away his legs and the deep area, he's gonna check it down for like a nice 5 to 7 yard gain, bro. There is no stopping Jaden. I'm sorry, like honestly, I think he should be the number 1 overall pick. We all know it's gonna be Caleb Williams because of bias reasons, because he was the Heisman last year, and they want the guy with the most upside. Even though if you want the guy with the most upside, you gotta go with Jaden Daniels, but teams are gonna realize. That's why I said Zach Wilson is not a top 5 pick, but the Jets picked him because of upside or whatever it was, and we saw how that turned out. But now, yeah. So, but yeah. Let me flip this page over. Is there anything on the back of these pages that we're talking about? All right, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. We had to talk about some off-season topics. Wait, you know what? Before we go, I want to talk about one more thing. Do you know what Stephen A. Smith said about the Pelicans last Friday?
yeah.
First of all, people are gonna the one thing that people are gonna bring up to defend Stephen A. Well, he's getting paid to do this. If you get paid to bully people, you're a pretty dog water. Okay. Well, thankfully, the Pelicans beat up on the Knicks, Stephen A's favorite team. He keeps saying, but the Pelicans have the same amount of playoff series wins as you do name changes. Shut up and just take the L. You want to say how the Pelicans are undefeated or are winless ever since they trolled you? First of all, how do you average 1.5 points in one game? How? Did they give you
Can't
half
happen.
a
Can't happen. He never hit that 1.5 shot before. That's what he hit.
bro? Yeah, the Pelicans definitely did spank that booty, man. We whooped that booty. Man, the Knicks, bro. The Knicks are the first. It had to be. Sometimes it feels like sports be scripted. Sometimes the Knicks had to be the first team that the Pelicans beats in strolling head. And speaking of that, that's what I want to say about that. How do you feel about Stephen A. Trash?
Stephen A. doesn't know his booty from a hole in the ground. He's
Yeah.
all talk. He's not Stephen A. He's Screaming A. That's his new name because he's just loud. He's uninformed. He doesn't even know how to say New Orleans right. It's not New Orleans, Stephen A. It's New Orleans. All right, not New Orleans. New Orleans. He needs to go back to school.
Yeah, and I just don't understand why people don't focus on the small market teams as the big market teams. Like I know that the small market teams aren't that hot or something, but for example, you don't gotta hate. Like if you just get paid to hate, I know numbers are, but that makes you dog water, dog shit. If that's all you talk about, when Anthony, I don't like AD for how he did us, but when Anthony Davis got here, it's like he's going to the Smoothie King Arena. When Zion got here, he's going to the Smoothie King Arena. First
if
of
you're
all, you
not
dumbass, it's
if you're
not
not in
Smoothie King
LA,
Arena.
Chicago, New York, Miami, Stephen A. don't. don't like you. Doesn't want anything to do with you. He poos on small market teams all day long. So for small market teams to win championships, like he didn't want Denver to be in the finals last year because it's cold over there, and it's not LA. Damn that. Go Denver. Last year, anyway. Mikey, you stuck again. Mikey, you stuck. Oh, anyway, this is the end of the live stream. Go follow me at Warren Newby on YouTube. Go follow him, Michael the Hurricane. Stephen A. Smith is an arrogant Twilight Zone. Yeah, you're right, Jerry. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Yeah. And I want to talk about one more thing. Do you think, like last Friday, the Pelicans played the Miami Heat? All right. And we got Jose, Najee's back, but Jose is still suspended. Do you think that fight deserved suspensions, ejections? Do you think it deserved it?
Tell you the truth, I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. All I heard was like Jimmy Butler got in a chokehold, and Alvarado left the bench, and somebody else left the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Kevin Love flagrant 55 fouled Zion, and then and then they were scrapping. They're like, one time, and then Najee was about to turn into Dwayne the Rock Johnson for a second, and then he threw Jimmy into a chokehold. You got a Jose. He was like, yeah. Then he just ran off the bench and he was like, and it was just like box. I don't. Yeah. And then so yeah, Jose is still suspended for tonight and the next game, and the Heat suspended Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jovic. Cool name, by the way. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna end the show. I just wanted to talk about a few things at the end, and so Dad, where can they find you, brother?
You'll find me, Warren Newby, YouTube, and they can find you, Michael the Hurricane, on YouTube. Ain't that right?
And also one last thing. Go check out the interview I did with somebody named Kyle Phelps on my second channel. That is New Orleans Saints Master Streams. Like I did, my guest is Kyle Phelps this time. And hey, if anybody's watching this and you want to become a guest, just hit me up. So Jerry, I know you're still in here. Hey, if you want to go talk about a knowledgeable Bengals fan, go over to that channel, hit the subscribe button, and also go watch that interview with Kyle Phelps because it was funny. But yeah, that's gonna end the show, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your boy Hurricane Mike. You can check me out here, and I just mentioned my other show. We will be live next week with my co-host Pops. That's what I'm gonna start calling you. Do you like that name or not?
Sure, we'll do it.
All right. Because hey, you gotta get a nickname. You gotta get the nickname.
The Hurricane and Pops. Yeah, I'm gonna get a nickname, Mike. I'm gonna get a nickname.
All right, let me know if you come up with a nickname. All right, so yeah, that's gonna end the show, folks, and I will leave you always, and it always will be. Who that?
Who that?